it'll be in red.
Hmm.
Now, when I share, there will be a tiny version of this. Right here, where it says you are screen sharing. Right there. It's really tiny though. Okay, so I'm going to review a little bit from yesterday. I'm going to talk about the mole. I'm going to talk about Avogadro's number, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, a couple more conversion factors. Then we're going to get into actually doing some problems involving these conversion factors. And then we're going to talk about a chemical reaction equation. You're going to learn how to balance it. And I modified the dry lab this week because there wasn't one down there. It was an atomic energy lab, and I don't know, we haven't even covered that. Anyway, so we're going to be doing some a dry lab Wednesday, Thursday this week, and it'll be on. It's not online. I mean, it is online, but it's not under assignments. I'll just hand it out, and we'll go from there. Okay, so one of the conversion factors that we talked about yesterday was Avogadro's number, the 602 times 10 to the 23rd. And that is how many objects are in a mole. If it's atoms, we go to the periodic table. If it's chickens, we don't go to the periodic table. Just like a dozen, it's just counting. Okay. Now, we go to the periodic table to find what the molar mass is of an element. If we're talking about a compound, which is multiple elements together like water, you have to add up the molar mass for the individual elements, like we talked about water. 2 hydrogens at 101 apiece, plus oxygen, which is 16. Those add up to 1802 grams per mole. And then the inverse of that, of course, this is a conversion factor. All right, so what does a problem look like? It is hot in here again. You go up in the lab, totally independent system. I know, you got long sleeves on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this building is really complicated. The air conditioning heating system. They have 3 systems, one for classrooms, totally independent, one for lab, one for hallways. And the reason for that is they want to make sure that there's always negative pressure in the labs so that nothing comes out. Air always only goes in. That includes the ventilation system, all that's together. And it's probably not controlled in this building either. Probably some other place, probably down at the district office, they control it. It's really goofy. So all the thermostats on the wall, they're fake. It just shows the temperature. That's it. Nothing else. It's really, really, one, very expensive to have all those systems because the systems are really giant. And anyway, sorry, I'm ranting. Okay, so let's do a problem here. How many moles of water are in 34.5 grams? Okay, what's given? First of all, is there a chemical reaction? No, so we don't have to worry about balancing the equation. And we're going to get to that very soon. So what's given? 34.5, good. Now I'm going to put H2O above that. When we get into reactions, it has to be there. So even though this doesn't have it, get in the habit of putting it above the given. Okay, so do we have, and we're trying to calculate moles. Do we have a conversion factor with grams and moles in it? Yes, we just calculated it. There are two of them. Now, remember, the given's got to cancel. That puts the mole on top, if we want. Okay, and for water, it's 1802. And we're looking at 3 sig figs, 4 sig figs. Answer is going to have 3 sig figs. I just checked. See, we're still recording. I live on video. I mean, this drives me crazy. Okay, sorry. Okay. Very straightforward problem. Now, sometimes we can have multiple steps in these type problems. In fact, when we get to reactions, everyone is going to be 3 steps long. Minimum 3 steps, sometimes they're 4. Most of the time, they're 3, though. Okay. Let's do another problem here. Everyone okay with that? This should feel pretty comfortable. Okay, how many grams are in 1.23 moles of hydrogen peroxide? Now, the formula for hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Now, if we looked at it in a spread out way, it looks like this. And the double oxygen is the peroxide part. And this is the simplest peroxide. They get very complex. They're not in the body, however, because they're very strong oxidizing agents. That's why hydrogen peroxide kills everything when you drop it on things to sterilize. Okay, so that's the formula for hydrogen peroxide. We're going to need the molar mass for hydrogen peroxide. So that's why I gave you the formula. So okay, we have 2 hydrogens at 101 apiece. 2 oxygens, 16 apiece, so that's 32. So that's 34.02 grams per mole. Okay, the given is going to be 1.23 moles. We need for the given to cancel. So that means moles are on the bottom. 34.02 grams are on top. It was 34, right? Yeah. Okay. So moles cancel, leaves us with grams. We're trying to calculate. Now, let me tell you a little sidebar. I will frequently do things with 3 sig figs. The reason for that is slide rules use 3 sig figs. Now, I didn't get to use a calculator until I was in graduate school. That also tells you how old. Now, slide rules, 3 sig figs. Guts to the moon. If you watch the movie, Apollo 13, I think, there's a whole room full of engineers. And they all had slide rules. And they did have a computer though. They had a PC-1 with disk drives, floppy disk drives, 5-inch floppy drives. That land, and it malfunctioned on the landing. Too. It land manually. So, and that's a really heavy computer too. I used to work for IBM, so we used to always have them at home. They're heavy. And I was really surprised when it wasn't, the guts of the thing, it was the whole body and everything. So anyway, that's why I do a lot of things with 3 sig figs. Just by habit. Yeah, the first slide rules, the first electronic calculators were like $500 and $600. That's for one that you can buy now for $12. Huh? Being so expensive?
No, I'm. Is it all that?
It's fine. You got an estimate in the last year. Yeah, there's a fair amount and okay, so let's do a little more complicated ones here. Now,
Should it be grams per mole? Or just grams?
for what, the answer?
Just grams.
Yeah, just grams because the moles cancel.
I said about that.
Okay, how many molecules of water are in 12.8 grams of water? Now, remember I told you, I forgot when, but I said, if in doubt, convert to the base unit. Like we're talking about milligrams, convert to milligrams to grams. We're talking about kilograms, convert it to grams. That's the base unit. Okay, the base unit from now till the end of the semester is mole. If in doubt, convert to mole. So if it's not a one-stepper, convert to mole. Because from there, everything is per mole, per mole, per mole. Okay, so do we have a conversion factor that has number of molecules and grams in it? All of you need to say no. So it's a multi-step problem. So if in doubt, convert to moles. Okay, so first step is we're going to convert the grams to moles. And that was 1802. Now we're in moles. Now, do we have a conversion factor to go from moles to the number of particles, either atoms or molecules? Yeah, we have Avogadro's number. Remember that one? It was 602 times 10 to the 23rd atoms or molecules per mole. We also have the inverse of that. So if we multiply this so that moles cancels, that means the number of molecules goes on top. Now, I want to review one thing that's really important. We have two new conversion factors. We have molar mass or atomic mass. Atomic mass is when we're only dealing with one element. Molar mass is when we're dealing with a compound of multiple atoms. Okay, and then we have Avogadro's number. So the molar mass units are grams per mole and mole per gram. This is extremely specific for the chemical you're talking about. No exceptions. All right. Avogadro's number is non-specific. We talk about like a dozen. Dozen can apply to sheep, eggs, atoms. Doesn't matter. Avogadro's number can apply to eggs, sheep, or atoms. Doesn't matter. It's a counting number. So whenever you see in the problem, how many? Flag goes up, Avogadro's number. How many? So in this problem here, this part doesn't matter what you started with. This part totally depends on what you start with. Okay, so we're just going to grind this baby out. So I'm multiplying everything on the top hitting the divide key, everything on the bottom each time. This is a typical two-step problem. And the common base unit is going to be moles. Okay. How many atoms of hydrogen are in 34.8 grams of water? Now, what's different about this problem? Atoms, not molecules. That's right. So, as a sidebar, let's talk about a bicycle. If I have 10 bicycles, how many wheels do I have? 20. How did you get 20?
There's two wheels, I have two.
2 per bike. So what's the conversion factor? 2 wheels per bike. That's your conversion factor. Go from the number of bicycles to the number of wheels. Bikes cancel, leaves you with wheels. Now let's look at water. Ben Waters. Let me and molecules of water. Okay. How many hydrogen atoms do I have? Twenty. How'd you get 20?
Two, I mean, spaceship.
2 hydrogens per molecule. So we have a conversion factor of atoms per molecule. So we first need to find out how many molecules of water we have. Then we can convert the molecules to atoms. Okay, so to find the number of molecules, we're starting with grams again. And this is water. So if in doubt, convert to moles. Now I'm going to go moles to molecules. Avogadro's number. Mole needs to cancel. Now we have molecules of water. Molecules of water. We want to go from molecules of water to atoms, hydrogen atoms. So the conversion factor is 2 atoms, hydrogen, 1 molecule of water. Now, I always have one of these on the test. And half the time, people forget to multiply by 2. So I give them partial credit. So half of this class, the name of the game is conversion factor. Half the stuff we're gonna be doing. We talk about acids and bases, that's gonna be the concentration in grams per mole. The acid and bases. We talk about solution. We talked about its conversions. And they work the same way every single time. Cancel the given and move the conversions over to what you're trying to calculate.
Professor, did you already say
Okay,
if
does
the
this make sense? Did you all get it?
It turns three, so it's five.
So what, yeah,
So it's three. So it's with the thing, 1, 2, 3, and then you're counting 4, so it's 5, so. That's right, so. Instead of 2. There's no 0, so you start from the side. So 3 is good, so 3, so if there's a 3. You're taking it, and then it's like 5, it's included. That's why you're adding 1.
Okay, did everyone should try this, get the same number on it.
Can you explain to me, because I feel like I'm getting confused, why is it 3 sig figs? Because I just did 2.3 to the 24th, but it's 2.33.
If you look at the sig figs, because we're multiplying and dividing, look at the sig figs on the number, what's the lowest one?
3. Okay, this 2 doesn't count and the 1 isn't counting. The 1 mole, the two atoms. The 2 and the
Oh,
atoms.
good point. Why does the 2 atoms not count? It's infinitive because it's exactly 2. It's not measured. Good question.
Professor, the decimal is after 2 or 23.3?
Right. Here,
So it's after 2?
2.33.
I
What did you get? Let me see.
got that too.
When you put Avogadro's number in, did you put it as 602 times 10 to the 23rd?
No, 6.02. And that's.
Right, that's where it's.
We're so old. Reference old.
Okay, so it's imperative. Is that subtle enough? It's imperative. You know how to use the EE function on your calculator. We will be using that a lot in this file, a lot, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get that.
Okay, so depends on your calculator. It's different, unfortunately, in every model. I think all the calculators would be the same. Keyboard, no, some have it, some don't, most have it. And sometimes it's buried and you have to do a shift to get to it, like my red calculator up there, I've got a shift to get to the key. Sometimes there's a dedicated key, the easiest to use. And then the brand new PI don't have a key. They have a 10 to the X key. Instead of the EE. In fact, if you want to see how it looks, I'm going in the lab. I'm looking at it last night. Did you get it?
Yes. Thanks, Ross.
Okay, so let's talk about gases for a minute. Now, there are actually four kinds of matter in the universe. Solid, liquid, and gas, and the last one is plasma. And we're not going to talk about plasma at all here. But plasma in its very, very high temperature, things act differently, very differently. Like on the sun, for example. We're talking thousands of degrees. So let's talk about the three ones you're familiar with. Solids are very orderly. They don't compress very easily. Liquids are not orderly. And they don't compress easily either. That's why we have hydraulic systems to run things. If they compress, the hydraulic systems wouldn't work. The last one is air, which is a gas. Gases are very compressible because the atoms or molecules of the gas are far apart. Where with a liquid and a solid, they're very close together. So if they're close together, there's no room for them to compress or expand. With a gas, there's all kinds of room for them to move around. Move around. So they can compress and they can expand. So in jets, aircraft, there's something called a pneumatic system. And they use air, compressed air, very high pressure. Super high pressure, and it jams the gas molecules that are next to one another. Still a gas though. And then they act like liquid. Now, if you are now, my dad was in the Air Force, he was a career guy, was in there for 29 years, he was a mechanic, and he used to fix pneumatic systems on jets. He used to take a broom and go over the suspected area where the leak was occurring. And when the broom got near the hole, the broom was gas was that strong, that compressed. And also there's hydraulic systems on planes, which use hydraulic oil, liquid. And I don't know why they use one over the other. But they have both on them. Okay, so you have one more conversion factor. So let's. Okay, so we have molar mass, grams per mole, Avogadro's number, non-specific, and then we have 22.4 liters per mole. And that's also non-specific. Any gas, whether it's uranium hexafluoride, steam, hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas, 22.4. However, because gas is compressible and expandable, we have to tell it what temperature and volume is talking about. So here's the volumes, 22.4 at standard temperature and pressure. That's the only time it'll be 22.4. Now we're going to get into the gas laws, and I'll show you if it's not at STP, something called the ideal gas law. We can change pressures and other stuff. Okay, so that's the other one you need to memorize, and it doesn't change with chemical. It's like Avogadro's number, it doesn't change. Molar mass definitely changes per chemical every single time. Okay, so let's do a problem with gases now. Okay, how many liters of gaseous water is 56.7 grams at standard temperature and pressure? Now, for our class, if I don't say at STP, we're going to assume it's at STP. Okay? But sometimes I forget to put it. Okay, so now we're talking about liters of gas. So we're going to use our new conversion factor, the 22.4 liters per mole. So first thing is given. We want to calculate liters. Now, when we get into solutions, we're going to have liters as well. There's gaseous liters and solution liters. Not the same at all. The only thing common between those two is they're both measured in liters. Okay, so if in doubt, convert to moles. Now we need to go from moles to liters. Moles are going to cancel. We're looking at 70.5 liters per mole. I mean, 70.5 liters. Now we need to practice. Well, let me show you one more thing. What we're doing now, there's a fancy name for it. It's called stoichiometry. Stoichiometry is stoichiometry is the quantitative analysis between reactants and products. Now, in a reaction, what you start with is called reactants. What you end up with is called products. Anyway, these calculations we're doing now and in the future, it's called stoichiometry. So they'll say, what is the stoichiometric relationship between reactants and product? That relationship is called stoichiometry. I gave a test, this is a long time ago. I gave a test and I needed a question worth 5 points. And so the top of the test was stoichiometry test, the very top. And on the back page, I said, what is this test about? I thought that was 5 gimme points. People miss that. Maybe. Oh, anyway, that's the fancy name. And tomorrow, I'm gonna talk a lot about what happens to reactants and products. For things to go a lot. And then we're gonna start putting it together. Okay, so right now, I would like for you guys to practice before we go to lab. We're still recording. Okay, so these are under Files, Unit 1. These are the worksheets. So I'd like you to practice here. Oh, this is an interesting problem. This is a true story, by the way. Okay, that's a 737 Air Canada, Montreal to Edmonton. In Montreal, they put kilograms of fuel in instead of pounds of fuel. My truck was from Canada, and everything was liters and kilograms, everything like that. So this is a Boeing plane made in the United States. We don't use, unfortunately, the metric system. So was supposed to be filled with pounds of fuel, not kilograms. Well, the problem is kilograms are lighter than a pound. So what happened is they were shorted probably by probably like 10,000 pounds of fuel. And so they ran out of fuel. I mean, this is a true story. It's interesting too, one of the pilots was a glider pilot also. So he was able to land the plane safely with no engines. Because he's used to flying gliders that have no engines. So anyway, it makes a nice problem. But it's a true story. Okay, so I'd like to spend the rest of the time. Let's get out of here at 5:30. So this next half an hour, I'd like you to practice these with me here. If you already know how to do these, you may go, but I'd like you to try these with me around just to make sure. Now, here are some pretty straightforward conversion problems. Why don't you go ahead, take a crack at these. Some are one step, some are multi-step. Let's see, let me see bigger.
Yeah. It is it under the?
Just say.
Okay.
And the bonus at lab 2 conversion. Which could be a term. Bandwidth the whole number. I have some stuff being printed in the print shop. I need to put that one, get that printer. and get it in.
And this will be, this reference sheet will be on.
I mean, stone move.
Thank God. I'll be waiting.
It's making sense today. Just gonna price here.
What I do.
Yeah. I learned, the two ways to learn is to off, look at it and go, got it. Same with me, I learned by. practicing. Okay, I've got like, I played a lot of instruments. And I've got like 2 songs memorized. Let me play instruments since I was in elementary.
It's
school.
funny because,
Oh,
yeah, having a version.
So I-
then you can go through.
Yeah.
that's why I have all these. instruments.
Yes, thank you.
Is it? So there was one thing, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Focus.
And one day, this stays. Whatever it's staying. There's kind of. When you're looking for supplies, so you're fine. Now, just in one drill. Supplies.
Yeah. It's gonna be on.
I'm so gonna. Rich sounds.
This. Oh, but this one is for different reasons. Yeah, and then I took mine and did like. Same with a little bit of. I have to see the system. The time. And it's just needs. Since this is 60. Yes. Maybe if you want us to know. Yeah, yeah. Transitional. And this is how you do it. I'm now not. Because I am. Actually, the same. These two and. So 2 last before, right? Okay, so that's 5 also. So it's basically. Yeah, it's basically, yeah. Actually, that's the main. So what I'm doing, I'm to bid it.
But that's. Where'd it go? Is there any others? Gonna start it.
Material. Safety. And it's not procedural, it's the first aid and management. So only.
Yeah. What I noticed. Exactly, because they're 6 day. Okay. If you're gonna do this, do that into it's one thing. One day for. Yeah, so that means like one hour or 60. So 60. Probably smart, that's why we skip things. Yeah. They went straight to say. So you need to plan. I mean, we got the same answer. Every step along. This is my phone, it's 24-hour, go down here is minutes. Oh, it is, it's automatic. So I was really. Speaking like. Those, this cancel out and work that at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah. So then we'll go there. Out the bottom. That's why I think it's. 60 here. Yeah. 1 hour to see if we look it up. Potentially speak about why do you need it? On top of they said hours, 1 hour. The day was when the end of the sense of hours, one meeting. That's not. Like rotation. Right. So you go. We'll talk about all things around the dance. I think you. So daily.
Every chief. Yeah. Sorry.
So it's they got that. So yeah. That's what. Yeah. So, okay, so there's this kind of sense. And we have to. Okay. That's just. Sorry, it's my best.
Yeah.
And nothing. Oh, I'm saying. Sick pigs. Great, so I can say this is in there. Yeah. So there's like 2 and 6 grades. Right?
Oh, okay, it's like, okay, that makes sense. But it looks like it doesn't clear the whole. Exactly. Yeah, so yes. So please. Oh, yes. One, you're gonna fill it around.
After the 16, I remember.
It's not over. This me, how it's accent. It's what? See the recording. Like these ones, it seems like.
And but like with the plan, yeah. So we have to take the rest of. Yeah. Because you're going to stay in
It's not.
the facial, the rest of it.
So if it's not,
So what's your dear one? On this meter?
Yeah. And that's. They said, and then do we have data? Because they asked me.
And it has some.
Yes. She's fine. So she's been those 5 days? Yes. Oh, so I figured out. Go to. Oh. Yeah. It's been 2 years ago. So you know, right. Are you scared? Oh, that's hard. I just heard you. Yeah, it gives us that. I don't write. Yeah, exactly. Same way, or 72 years. Like I. It's absolutely. Really still. Yes, right. Yeah. So now I need to stay here. Yeah, here. Yeah. One is. It's one for me. No, so that is the worst to me. You, when you can. Oh, so I have to, yeah. Minutes, right? No, that's what I was doing, I was going to. So you only need to find it. The acting. This one's 16. Just over the hours. Today, hours, after the meeting. So yes. No, 0 p.m. not stuff. Yeah, the children.
368.
Yeah.
Below five. Yeah.
So like this. Cars, I don't get it all.
Yes. So, yeah. And then 1 year, because the starting year. So it's 1 year, it's 2 6. But it's not in 6 months. 1 year is 365 days. Okay, you're gonna go with the, so and here is 365. Right? Yeah, and then 1 day is 4 hours. It's 16 minutes. Right, and then 1 day is 66. Right, then 1 day after the second. So there's that. So this one is still gonna be second set. So the next one, I'm gonna be around. So I'm after saying years, that gives me the answer. So start small, go down. Yes. And so keep looking at this. Basically, if I don't know, like this year, the thing that you have to know what they want. Yeah, and then what they keep. Yeah, and then, yeah, people need to, I'll get them to what they want, yes.
But it's before, I would it's pretty.
Yeah. I just, the here. Yeah. Yeah. Outside advice would say, yeah, it is.
My brother.
Yeah. So it's literally hits.
I worked up to one. I worked.
I don't
Yeah. Do every day.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes. So, one way.
But it was very. Relaxing, but it was just such a time.
Because.
Yeah. You gotta say. It would be four.
There's the one.
No. And 39. No, not. Oh, no. 30. Then all four of them. So on one side, and each was the longer.
One technical.
They do.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a. Maybe I'll take it off.
Said some people.
Yeah, yeah. It's. That's not how it is. It's saving. I would have to be.
But you could. I just like.
Yeah.
All of that, where's there? Yeah. Sure, right, maybe. Yeah.
Wait, so go this one.
This is fun. We can go to I suppose like this. Yeah. So that's yeah.
So that's what's happening. I mean, it is. So, yes.
It's a lot.
Next. 10 to 8 years. You did that. Expects me Yeah. That's where it was. No. It's been right here. Okay.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
So it's on the same thing, so it's 09, so the same big part is the last good week, so I would just count. Or you just count, no, your answer is good. Just leave it now, right? Yeah. I don't need to. So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, and. Yes. And then I would up to the next. Yeah. And so I needed to do 1, 8, 7, so 8. Yeah. Oh, I know, I have 7 zeros. Regular. Like, do you have to answer? So I just obviously not did all. I put it to you. Is one, 1, 2, just 3, 5, 6, 8, 7, 6. Yeah. 1, 5, it's going to be behind. It is right. Oh, yeah, so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 6 place. It's one day. If you can't find it, for one it's a name. I just need to. Yes, 20 year.
So one.
It's just that I'm sitting at the bottom.
Finish that.
Okay, and then 16 and 8. And then, yeah, just that's the until. One day. I'll give you 1 hour. You know, it's just it's the math. I have to think of the head for like 2 seconds and then, so I did do this for it. So 30 years, nice.
I think you have to go sunrise. Yeah. And we consider it like it's just on. Yeah, you make sure if it's. Okay. Is that thing is also this, right?
Was to.
We have to think with that.
Okay.
Oh. No.
To start my units.
Yeah. And then they did it until like, yeah, it's them. Radio. So I would have been. That's my step. You understand? But when. You heard that? Okay, but I just, I don't know. When.
I don't. Someone to change the fucking over.
But the interesting, and it's actually, it's interesting, because it's actually really non-existent. It's not even really approved at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's actually like made up out of. But I'm thinking that's what staff is in town.
What about that?
She was just telling me about that too.
Both cats. It's a plant that people chew to get on.
So I was just thinking about it. I was watching work control. We were gonna work for train. And this is one that was somebody's training. No, she was telling me about it. I was telling her about it right now because I was asking them what they. So
I think the ones that will be on.
But just for the guys.
But even if you're like, maybe I'll. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, look, I found this thing that I found it good. Like. I found this. But I need to make your picture. But.
She was telling me like it's easier to scan to drive it out and.
Oh, yeah.
It's back there. But.
Yeah. So your this what like an crocodile because you're so you see so if you're using a drug for a year so you make it back. That's all it takes. Yep. Yeah, see, I'm gonna do the books. And it's being like spread out to South Sudan. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I like that, because I don't know. So they're on some process to life of this. So they still don't approve it. So, well. Yeah. That's what they call it. So high, so about 10 minutes or drops. It's like, with the constantly do. So your body says. Yeah, you don't. Okay. I'm still. Yes. I'm not seeing the bond.
Oh, yeah. They're both yours and we're opposites. Yeah. But they're I was kind of like armor knows like that. That's great. Are you keep it like a no. Yeah. It's great for you. So I haven't played that like 7 great conference uses. And so. Yeah, I didn't feel up to that, so my completion, because I think those are problems to another. The news to pass. Yeah, I put it in, this one, there is much. There is. Song. Yeah, it's well. What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. That's
That
that.
we made up. Is that first.
Right now. Done. I said,
First. Yeah, I learned about it. We're gonna eat diet. Yeah, you know, it's what.
now. Better.
So,
Definitely must.
yeah, they're open. So that's one of the.
There was a problem.
Oh. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, they got some.
You don't get good at things. Oh, yeah, that's fun. Continue the next meeting, go to pass and stuff, and then I think time that was. All that. That's all. So I was thinking usually. And you say. I mean, so, it's more. So like, maybe like late summer, you know? And I'll be out. Try to get. I'll go to you go when I leave. Okay. Really? Somebody, people want to know.
Yeah, I didn't.
I go free.
Right.
That's actually. Oh. All that's because well, oh, Maybe you should look at this. Extra. Yeah. Stay here.
Okay.
Fire about the case, it's like 320. Because you like one of them. You need that many people. Oh, it's okay, man, it's so that it's not. Right now, probably that's why I'm doing lunch. I think I can use build on the car. Oh, it's really good. Yeah, that's the way it's even thick. I just think that so I think that it's really interesting to have these and have the game smile and then each person. Oh. You made it like you heard about it. I don't even know. Wait, you better call it. Oh, definitely. You want it? Yeah, I want to get the moment we can balance. Yeah. Even the 30s.
8,000. The brain.
You don't.
I just found out about. Okay. So that's what I remember. It's aggressive years. People get it. And I don't think it is. It's about this first. Yeah, it's different. Get the cars over.
Yeah, 24 shades, 3 or 4 million. It's very good. Oh. There you go. The older, the metal term, the older, the better. Yeah. But it was not, yeah. It's free. I mean, it's very good. My younger, the ones I didn't even see. Oh, it's very.
Yeah.
Marble, the one. Yeah, it's. Yeah, but it looks like. Okay, cool. I would have went there, they probably started them to. That's wrong. Yeah, this got. Oh, these things. Well, you know, just is meaningful and it's the program of everything. That's a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think they have a very well. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, that's it's this. Yeah, and that's- You got it there? You know, you love it. It's serious. I think it's only down back. Are you? Oh, he's over there.
I believe she.
Gonna go out tonight.
We're happy. We're happy.
You look.
Thank you. I don't know, put it out now. Maybe, I don't know what you want. Oh, yeah.
I know.
Where? Right. Cameron. Under the idea, I want to penetrate that's happened. Awful stuff, redoing this educational building. First, yeah. We were. I don't think really. I'll tell you, that's. Yeah. So I'm glad I didn't go. In fact. Yeah. I would. All those people I mean, created it. Exactly. I was this guy, those persons there, they picked up. I'll get up. Leave. And the point is, the results were. Why? That's something. Breaks down. The heck?
Something. So I have a question about that one. I got that one for 2.1 cents. Seconds, but it sounds a bit weird to me. Is it
Okay.
correct?
So, you've got, that's 2 sig figs.
Yeah,
How many is that?
it's infinitive. The
About
one is
that.
infinitive.
So your answer is gonna have 2 sig figs. So, that's right.
Right?
So what was your question?
You, like the answer was weird to me, like, I don't know, it just sound, I just wanted to.
Well, I'm
make sure
assuming,
that-
assuming your math is right, but if your math is right, and you get this, you gotta convert it to 2 sig figs, but you
Yeah.
did.
And also I got a-
Perfect.
I got a question about the lab. I just ordered the book and today is it okay if I bring it tomorrow?
Yeah, because it's, yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
It shouldn't be lecturable.
okay,
fine.
okay, thank you so much.
Because that's your first lab, and what I do, on your first lab, you get to fix everything. So. Oh, okay. I think the labs are gonna be state. It's good you told me though. So when you look at a first aid, that's section 4 of the SDS. Section 12 of the SDS is toxicological information, including teratogenicity. You know what that is? Yeah, okay. So you can just look it up in both places. So if the chemical is a teratogen, you won't do the lab. I'll give you credit for it, okay?
Okay, so.
Well, it's good you told me though. You know, the woman in charge of all the lab, she's from Hayville. And her accent is very similar to yours.
That's it's because I have find the them, this, I am looking, yes, of course.
English is hard.
Yeah. We speak French and.
Je ne comprends rien.
Wow. Speak French. and,
That's all I know. That's appropriate too. So. Normally I use Nepal instead of Narayan. No, I use Nepal. Okay. That makes sense today, lecture?
I think things like this in my country but in French. I